Most of the couples who come to us planning pregnancy, when things don't work out according to their time frame, are a little apprehensive. Is it something wrong with us? Is there a problem with the female partner? Will natural pregnancies not occur? Do we need to have any surgeries? So they have a large number of doubts. In this video, we are going to cover a little amount of basic physiology which you need to understand about how babies form and some of the most common problems that women have, making it difficult for them to become pregnant and delaying their pregnancies, and what are the solutions for those. I'm Dr. Padmaja Clinic Vijayawada, with 25 years of experience in this field of reproductive medicine, and my basic interest is helping couples make families. As you all know, to have a baby, from the female partner, oocyte needs to be released. From the male partner, sperms need to come, and out of the millions of sperms that are produced every day and are deposited in the female during the process of intercourse, the uterus and the tubes and the cells around the oocyte filter out all the abnormal sperms, make sure that only a few of all the millions of sperms that are deposited, that are perfectly shaped with good energy and active motile forward sperm, manage to fertilize the oocyte. For this process to occur, ovary has millions of oocytes which are formed when the girl is a 5-month-old baby inside her mother's tummy. But all these oocytes are in a sleeping state, and 90% of them die out by a process called apoptosis. That means it's a sort of self-destruction. By the time the girl is around 15 years, where she's just started her menstrual cycles, in her ovaries there are around 40,000 follicles left over. From these, every month around 1,000 follicles come out of the sleeping stage. Of them, 10 of them begin to grow, and out of them the best follicle grows and releases the oocyte. This process usually happens around 10 days after the period stop. That means around the 15th day of the menstrual cycle. The tube is waiting for this oocyte. So as soon as this oocyte is released, the tube picks it up and it survives here for 24 hours. In that time, if a sperm manages to fertilize this oocyte, there will be a baby, and the tube rolls that baby down into the uterine cavity over 5 days, where the endometrial lining is waiting for this baby and ready to receive it. Successful interaction between the baby and the endometrial lining leads to a pregnancy. For this process to occur, what we need is a great oocyte. It should have all the cellular processes intact and healthy. It should be supported by a group of cells immediately around it. It should be in an environment which was having the right amount of hormones and growth factors, which were produced by the cells all around it, supported by the rest of the ovary. So unless we have these great oocytes, it is not possible to have a pregnancy. And healthy oocytes and healthy sperms come from healthy bodies. So anyone planning a pregnancy needs to optimize their health. They need to maintain body weight. They need to eat a diet that is rich in protein, not too many of carbohydrates, all the micronutrients. Prenatal vitamins need to be taken. Plenty of seasonal fruits needs to be included, and salad, sprouts, green leafy vegetables must be a part of the diet. Dairy products should be there. Their vitamin D levels should be normal. They should have a regular exercise program, not have too much stress, have a good sleep cycle, and yoga and whatever keeps you happy as a stress buster is very important for the overall health, because oocytes and sperms are also a part of your body, and only a healthy body will lead to healthy gametes. The most common problem that we are seeing nowadays is with changing lifestyle, with the lack of regular exercise, with high amount of calories in all the processed food that we are having, not having enough physical activity, we are seeing more number of hormonal problems. And the most common hormonal problem we are seeing is called polycystic ovary. In this process, the problem is that instead of regular ovulation occurring, there are numerous follicles. All of them have a limited capacity to grow and don't grow beyond one particular level. So progressive growth and ovulation does not happen. Lots of follicles are there, all of them grow to one particular level and all of them stop. And then next cycle few more add, and next cycle few more add. So we see that the ovary is filled with small follicles, and essentially a follicle is a group of cells in which there is an oocyte that is filled with fluid. So in these ovaries, because we have large number of follicles, it is called poly, and because the follicles have fluid, it is called cystic, and because it is in the ovary, it is called a polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is not that something abnormal is growing inside the body. It means that there is an imbalance in the communication systems, the hormones, the metabolism, the diet, the exercise, the stress level, with some amount of genetic predisposition, which is leading to this abnormality where ovulations does not occur. And we see this especially when there are irregular periods, when there are lots of pimples on the face, when there is unwanted hair, when there is weight gain, when there is, because of excessive male hormone, loss of hair, and in people who are having issues with fertility. We'll come back to the treatment protocols a little later. The other extreme that we see is women with low reserve. Surprisingly, we are seeing young women having very low number of follicles. Normally there should be some number of follicles always seen, because even when one oocyte is ovulating, there are other small follicles which are at least attempting to grow and ovulate and then die out at the end of the menstrual cycle. But in some people, there is a premature loss of these growing follicles, and the changes in the body that should be occurring with decreasing number of oocytes at the end of the reproductive age. That means in the late 40s, we are seeing women in the late 20s and early 30s also having it, called diminished ovarian reserve. This means that the number of oocytes that can make a baby are less. So before these totally disappear, these women need to take active treatment if they want to have their own genetic baby, because whatever is dead and gone cannot be brought back to life, and we will be left with compromised quality. Another problem that we see is that the uterine muscle in particular areas grows independently and forms into a nodule called the fibroid. Because the baby needs to grow inside the uterus in the lining, when there are fibroids which are changing the shape of the uterus, or big fibroids which are producing a sort of contractions in the uterus and preventing a baby from implanting, or they are making hormones which percolate out into the endometrial cavity, change the quality of the endometrial cavity, which is the lining in which the baby is growing, or they interfere with the tubal motility. So all different sites of fibroids, different growth rates of fibroids, different vascularity of the fibroids, different metabolic activity of the fibroids, and the endocrinological milieu makes them interfere with the ability of this uterus to allow a baby to grow inside it. Not all fibroids need surgery. Small fibroids which are not really coming close to the endometrial cavity only serve as a warning that as these fibroids are hormone dependent, will continue to grow with time. Before they grow to a size that is going to cause harm, they need to plan their babies early. Big fibroids, fibroids that are coming into the cavity, definitely need surgery. One more problem that we are seeing increasingly with modern life is called endometriosis. Normally, the lining inside the uterus, called the endometrium, waits for a baby every month, and when the body knows that there is no baby, this layer is shed off outside as a menstrual period, because the baby can implant only in a perfectly formed fresh endometrial lining. In some women, part of this endometrial lining through the tube leaks into the uterine cavity, leaks into the peritoneal cavity. Normally, we have mechanisms where the body clears off all this unwanted blood that is coming into the tummy. But in some people, especially if they have a family history of endometriosis, this immune system that is supposed to clear up this blood is defective, and the endometrial lining also manages to stick in at different areas and get its own blood supply and continues to grow. This lining is very similar to this lining, and as every month ovulation occurs and the lining grows, this lining will also continue to grow. A lining inside the cavity has a pathway out if there is no pregnancy. A lining that is somewhere near the ovary or the tube or inside the tummy, if it bleeds, has no outlet. So the blood continues to accumulate, causes lots of adhesions, causes lots of destruction, and progressively worsens with time. Therefore, if we pick up endometriosis early and you are planning a baby, it is time that you go in for technologies that make sure that you can become pregnant in the shortest possible time, because delay leads to worsening of the results of even fertility treatments. Another reason for having difficulty in becoming pregnant is that sometimes the uterine cavity and the peritoneal cavity is infected by different bacteria. Body manages to clear these bacteria, but they cause stickiness inside these areas, and recurrent episodes can cause tubal block, because tubes need to pick up the oocyte, Sperms need to swim through the tube to reach the oocyte. The early steps of development happen in the tube, and the growing embryo is nurtured and sent into the uterine cavity through the tube. If these tubes are blocked, there is no way you can have a baby on its own, and tubes are extremely delicate. Once damaged, there leads to fibrosis and blockage, and most of the treatments or surgeries to open the blocks are not very successful. In those conditions, when we do not have adequate information or we suspect something is going wrong, what we advise is a laparoscopy. In this procedure, we fill the tummy with gas, put in a telescope, very gently manipulate the different organs, pick them up, and on a video camera we can see exactly what is happening inside. Most of the time, when something is found wrong inside the uterine cavity, it can be corrected in the same sitting. And because in a laparoscopy we are seeing from inside the tummy into the cavity, we cannot see what is happening inside the uterine cavity. For that, we need another procedure called the hysteroscopy, where the telescope is inserted through the vagina, through the cervical canal into the cavity, and we can have a look and correct abnormalities in these cavities. So with these technological advances, it is become very simplified if we go about in a systematic manner to find out what is the problem that is preventing you from becoming pregnant. Is there something in your lifestyle? Is there something in your body habitus? Is there something wrong in your hormones that is preventing a great oocyte from coming out? Are you not ovulating? Is there a decreased reserve? Is there some other pathology that is preventing an implantation? And treatment protocols are designed to correct specific problems. In case you are not able to conceive by natural intercourse, what we suggest is that you go in for an IUI program. In that program, what we do is use medication to make sure that you ovulate, and we are very sure at what period of time the oocyte is most likely to be in the tube. At that time, the semen is collected, processed, and only the sperms that are forward motile looking normal are sent into the uterine cavity, bypassing all the roadblocks, so that large number of sperms are placed closer to the oocyte in the cavity. The active motile sperms swim through the tube and manage to reach the oocyte, and fertilization rates are better. Successful IUI might not happen in the first attempt, but over a period of 3 to 4 cycles, most of the people who have just subtle abnormalities do manage to become pregnant. In case this does not work out or there is a tubal block, in those people, to cut down the time to pregnancy, we suggest going in for an IVF program, in which we use medications to grow the follicles which were doomed to undergo death in that cycle, because nature provides for only growth of one follicle. Although 10 follicles start growing around it, we give enough hormones that are highly purified so that we are able to prevent all these from undergoing apoptosis, so that 10 follicles grow. Under anesthesia, using an ultrasound probe through the vagina and a very thin needle, these follicles are aspirated so that we take out the fluid along with the oocyte cumulus complex that is floating around inside. These oocytes are given enough number of sperms in an environment that is outside, that is very similar to the tube, and they checked the next day to see for fertilization and the next day whether there is a growing embryo. This embryo is then very gently replaced back into the uterus, and we wait for successful implantation and a pregnancy. In case this is combined with a male factor, then we suggest them to go for an ICSI program in which every oocyte is held with a fine pipette, perfectly looking normal motile sperm, a single one is picked up through a thin needle. This sperm is directly injected into the oocyte. Fertilization is checked. Once the embryo grows, it is replaced into the uterine cavity. Technological advances over the last 40 years have helped millions of babies being born through assisted reproductive technologies and lakhs of happy families. So you are at the best possible time, because we have been gathering evidence of what works, what is safe, what are the side effects of these medicines, and how can we optimize your treatment protocols so that we can cut down the time to pregnancy. I hope this video was useful. Do get back to me by putting your comments in the comment box. We will answer them. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy.